So Purusha Sukta confirmed like that it is entitled. So Purusha Sukta is a prayer in Vedic literature. In many yajnas, when they perform, so this is the prayer that is often recited while performing Vedic sacrifices, and also while performing deity worship. So, for example, just now I am coming from worshipping Shaligram Shila. So, while doing Shaligram Shila, we recite all the shlokas in Purusha Sukta. So this chapter is entitled as Purusha Sukta. So this chapter is not it doesn't contain Purusha Sukta shlokas, but the meaning of the chapter corresponds to the Purusha Sukta. The same meaning is conveyed in different shlokas. How the Purusha is the cause of this world, everything. So that is what is being conveyed. That means whatever we see in this world, everything is coming from the Supreme Lord Purusha. So that is the theme of this chapter, whatever. So that like the same theme that was last time also we have seen. That same theme is continuing here. So here, initially, the first section explains that all the elements that we have seen that are all coming from Lord Vishnu's Lord Vishnu only. He provides all the ingredients for the universe. So as we have seen some table last time where all the different elements are there. So they are all actually coming from the Supreme Lord's different body, different elements. For example, from the mouth of the Supreme Lord, so the mouth of the Virat Purusha will come, and from there, ultimately, everyone will get their mouth. And then, like from the eye of the Supreme Lord, Virat Purusha, the universal form, is like Virat Purusha is also said to be one of the expansions of the Lord. It is like material expansion, we can say. So that gets developed, the universal form also kind of given some eye. From there, ultimately, the sense devata of the eye, who is sun god, and our eye, Chakshu and Akshini, we have subtle eye, we have gross eye, and the Tanmatra of the eye, which is fire element, and Tanmatra is form. So all these things will come from the Supreme Lord's form. So in this way, the different elements, whatever we see in this world, everything is coming from the Supreme Lord's body. So that is being explained. Lord is material cause, means even the ingredients that we see in this world, so everything has its origin in the Supreme Lord. So, and because the Supreme Lord is the provider of all the everything, like as we have discussed, he has the energy, and energy is also not different from the Lord. So in that sense, he is also the material cause. Material cause means these terms, if we like, for example, a pot is there. So in order for a pot to be made, there should be some earth element. So from which the pot is made. So that earth, that material which supplies that pot is called material cause. So, and also there needs to be a potter who makes that pot. So that is called as effective cause. So in this way, there are like several causes are there, but all of these causes in regards to universe is Supreme Lord only, Vishnu only, that is being explained. That means even the matter that is required to make this universe, all this matter is coming from the Supreme Lord. So in like all his energy, Shaktis are also not different from the Supreme Lord. So it's mentioned that the whatever living entities, different kinds of living entities that exist in this world, like Gandharvas, Apsaras, Yakshas, Rakshasas, Acharanas, Vidyadharas are all the human beings, beasts, birds, trees, everywhere that is there. Everywhere the Lord is covered in all these areas. Everywhere the Lord is present and at all times. So in the past, present, and future. So this is like representation of the Virat Purusha. So Purusha, this Virat Purusha is presented everywhere. But at the same time, although he is presented everywhere in this universe, within everything, he is also extended beyond it. That means he is beyond this universe also. It is mentioned that he crossed this universe by exceeding by uh, again by some extra measurement. So that means although he said that the super soul as the supreme lord is present in all the universe, but still he resides even outside the universe also. That means there is something lying behind this universe also that is being explained in the Vedic literature in Srimad Bhagavatam. That means, like whatever we see, that is not the only thing that is existing in this world, but there is outside this universe, there are many places existing. So that means, and that place which is above this place, that is described as Tripad Vibhuti, and this place where we are living, that is being described as Ekapada Vibhuti. So there is distinction that is made between Tripad Vibhuti and Ekapada Vibhuti. So Tripad Vibhuti means referring to the uh, places of the Lord, where Lord exists. That means Vaikunthas and Goloka, the places beyond this material world. And Ekapada Vibhuti is referring to this material universe where we are existing. So there are differences that is made between this present here universe and the spiritual world, Vaikuntha. So like there is Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi cycle that is there in this Ekapada Vibhuti, this material world. And in Tripad Vibhuti, in the Vaikuntha, there is no cycle of Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi. And people who are like attached to these fruitive activities, who want to enjoy, they stay in this material world. And Tripad Vibhuti, there the people, they are like completely freed from all these attachments. They stay there. And Lord is more inclined to the Tripad Vibhuti because all the living entities in Vaikuntha, they are attached to the Lord. And in Ekapada Vibhuti, he is not so inclined because living entities are not so inclined to serve him. So, and the, like as mentioned, in the material world, very few people want to serve the Lord, but everyone wants to enjoy the material nature. But in Tripad Vibhuti, everyone wants to perform devotional service. And in Ekapada, material world present, there is fear is present always. But it is mentioned that Tripad Vibhuti, there is no fear, abhaya. So Vaikunta means there is no kunta. Kunta means anxiety. So that anxiety is not present in Vaikunta. That's why it is called as Vaikunta. So fear is not there. And forgetfulness is there in Ekapada Vibhuti. It is like because of avidya, we forget our original nature, servants of the Lord. So, but in Tripad Vibhuti, everyone is aware that they are all servants of the Lord. So therefore, they are not forgetful of their position. And in a material world, actually, the number of souls in material world is compared to very less in compared to an spiritual world. Although it may seem huge, but compared to spiritual world, this is very, very less. And the manifestation, it is mentioned that one fourth is here, 3/4 is in Tripad. So that means these are like number. So that means spiritual world is much larger than this material world. So that is being explained. And experience, Satchidananda experience that one gains in this world is very meager. But in the spirit Tripada Vibhuti, the spiritual world, there is lot of happiness in Tripada Vibhuti. So in this way, the differences between the material world and Tripada Vibhuti in the spiritual world is mentioned. It is like there in the Purusha Sutta also, and it is coming here also. So in this way, the two natures are explained. And then he explains, the Brahmaji has explained that previously when I was created, I want to perform a yajna. So from him only this whole universe has come, all the manifestations like sun, heat, everything has come. So I was also born from his lotus, coming from his lotus. So I want to please him and I want to perform a sacrifice. So that time to perform any sacrifice, we require ingredients like, right? So, but I have seen there are no sacrificial ingredients to perform. So therefore, what I have done was I have collected all the ingredients from the Supreme Lord only. So that means the Supreme Lord only provides ingredients even for the Brahmaji to perform sacrifice. So all the ingredients, that means Supreme Lord is also acting as the material cause. That means all the ingredients that we see, they are all ultimately coming from the Supreme Lord. So by that, from that limbs of the Lord, I could collect all the ingredients. So what are all the ingredients that he requires to perform sacrifice? So those are all like if any big animal, like any big yajna one needs to perform. In Vedic times, there is like a sacrificial past required, kushagrasa is required, proper place and proper time needs to be taken care. Plates and utensils, plants like rice, ghee is required, honey is required, metals like gold, earth, water, verses of the three Vedas are required, various offerings are required, and so many other mantras, vows, so many things are there, sacrificial manuals, vows. So all these things, everything has come from the Supreme Lord. So from him only I got the uh, elements, and from him only I got even mantras and everything. Using him only I am offering that sacrifice. That means using the Lord as the ingredients, I am offering the sacrifices to the Lord. So that means by using limbs of the Lord, I am offering sacrifices. In this way, I perform that sacrifice. By that sacrifice, and even not only me, even your other Nardamuni, your brothers, other Prajapatis, and other persons like Indra, so they also worship the Lord in the same way by collecting all the ingredients taken from the Lord. So, and this is same continued for next, like other Manu sages, they also did the same thing by this thing. So in this way, the Supreme Lord is pervaded everywhere. That means what is being mentioned is that even the ingredients, the material elements, these are also energy of the Lord, so non-different from the Lord. So whatever activities one performs, so those are all, we are all using the Lord's energy and offering it back to the Supreme Lord. So that's the meaning that is being conveyed here. So that means, for example, we go to Mother Ganges, take water and offer it back to Ganges. So we are taking the ingredients from Ganges only and offering it back. Or some people so offer light lamp to sun god. So that means actually the strength of lamp, that light is coming from Supreme Lord, but the same thing is being offered to the Supreme Lord again, to the sun again. So similarly, all the ingredients are coming from the Lord and he offered it back as a sacrifice. So in this way, that sacrifice is mentioned. So, and then all the universes, they are all situated in Narayana, the Supreme Lord. And in general, although he is situated beyond this Prakriti, for the creation of this material universe, he accepted these, he accepted Maya through the form of three gunas, and uh, because of that, this universe has manifested. So the Adhisthana nature, like the basis of this universe, is again Narayana, that is being explained here. And by his power, so and by his in this only, he is either both as effect and also cause. So therefore, there is no other cause in this world other than Lord Narayana. And by his power only, I create, and the like by his power only I create, and Shiva destroys under his order, and by his energies, by his power, he maintains this whole world. So that means this and whom Lord Brahma depends, like that Narad Muni has also asked. He's saying that I and Shiva are actually little different from Vishnu, because we come in touch with the modes, but Vishnu controls the modes. So therefore, Vishnu is connected with Sattva Guna. He is Shuddha Sattva. He is not actually never come in contact with Sattva Guna. Sattva Guna. He is always situated in Shuddha Sattva. So therefore, he is like situated different from us. So he is therefore he holds all these energies and he maintains the universe. In this way, everything in this world is, even I also depend upon Supreme Lord. Yet, so in this way, he answered even at Param also. So in this way, he mentioned that. So someone may think that how can we believe the words of my words, Brahmaji's words? Some people may say that Lord is also coming under contact of the three modes. But you are saying Lord will never come in contact with the three modes. How can we believe in your words? So Brahmaji, with confidence, he is saying that you should believe my words, because he is giving reasons. न भारते में गमृषोपलक्ष्यते न वै क्वचिन्मे मनसो मुषागति न मे हृषिकाणि पतन्त्य सत्पदे यन्मे हृदौत्कण्ठवता धृतो हरि न भारती means the words. O Narada, Anga, my words will never go into wrong direction. And Navai Kwachin me Manasa Mrushwagati, my mind also will never go into a wrong path. Name Hrushikani Patanti Asatpade, my senses will also never go into wrong path. Why? Because why he is saying so confidently? Because Yanme Hruda Hrudi Outkantyavata Druto Harihi. I accepted with very eagerness in my heart the Lord's Hari. So because I have taken to very eagerly to serve Lord Hari, therefore my words will never go wrong, my mind will never go wrong, my senses will never go wrong. In this way, he has completely glorifying that you should accept my words. And after telling that, he is saying that although I am personified, like I perform lot of austerity, and I am filled with Vedas from my body only. Actually, the Vedas will come, and even I am being worshipped by great Prajapatis who have fixed their mind. But such a great person I am, Brahmaji. But still, he's saying that still I cannot understand the Supreme Lord completely, because I am created by Him. So therefore, it is very difficult to understand Him. What to speak of me, I'm saying, even the Supreme Lord cannot know His own limits of His glories. That means His glories always increase. So how can we ever understand? So therefore, we simply offer our respects, even though we glorify, even though we cannot completely understand Him. Still, whatever extent we can understand him, we glorify. So like that he is saying. That means this phrase will come that yatamati yatashrutam, that it is very difficult to completely glorify the Lord, but whatever is possible according to our intelligence and our words, whatever is given, we try to glorify the Lord. So same thing Brahmaji is saying that still, even though I cannot understand him completely, but whatever extent I understood him, I will glorify him. So in this way, he gives the like he gives that he will glorify the Lord, and he says that even we are all like I, Lord Shiva, you, O Narada, we are all are like we are part of spiritual world, and we even we like even still we are completely cannot understand the spiritual world, what to speak of others. Only others, when they are bewildered by Maya, they think that they will be able to understand everything, so according to their limited understanding. So we simply, therefore, we glorify when he appears in various avatars. So those he takes different incarnations. So that time we glorify his incarnations also, and also he he destroys the. He only creates, he only maintains, and he destroys the universe by himself. This universe means he only creates the universe, which is this universe is also himself only, by himself and in himself. So that means this universe is not different from the Lord, and he is the cause of all the creation, maintenance, and destruction. And all this universe is also situated in himself. So that means, like I mentioned, this universe is also non-different, as is non-different from his energy. So he is always situated in full of bliss, Shuddha Sattva, and he is not subjected to mundane like our mundane interpretation, and he is distinguished from all others and situated in its own true form, which is completely eternal, which is beginning without beginning or end, Anadi Madhya, and without any material gunas. He is eternal and without comparison. So there is no comparison for the Lord's glory. He is completely situated. He does not change. He has his forms. So, and that same form, he also the same Lord, he is having three aspects. One is the Bhagavan feature, and the Supreme Lord as Paramatma, and Brahman is his effulgence. So that Brahman effulgence is said to be where where there are no variegation is not there. So that time that is said to be Brahman effulgence. That means Supreme Lord, in this material world, there is lot of variety due to three modes. And when one go beyond these three modes, and like where they reach something like spiritual, so where if there are no spiritual variety, so that is said to be the Brahman platform. So that is also one of the nature of the Supreme Lord, which is like the aspect of the, like for example, sun god is there, sun rays are there, sun rays are said to be the although it is not different from the sun, still in the sun there are a lot of variety. So similarly, Lord's rays are said to be the Brahman, Brahman quality. It is called impersonal Brahman, because there is no variation in that. But when there is spiritual variety, so there it is said to be the form of the Supreme Lord, and there because of that spiritual variety, Vaikunta and all this different variegation is there, which are all spiritual. So in this way, Lord is situated. And that Mahavishnu, that Supreme Lord only expands as Mahavishnu, and from there he is expands as Karanodakshaya Vishnu, and Karanodakshaya Vishnu, as he produces lot of universes, and in each universe he enters as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. And all the jivas, they are all coming from the one Shakti of the Supreme Lord. So in this way, everything is coming from Supreme Lord, and all the living entities in this world, whatever we see, in they are all not, they are all different from the Lord, who is although every living entity in this world, like Prajapati, Narada, and every living end, they are all existing with different forms. Their forms are not Swarupa of the Lord. Lord is situated beyond this world with the Sachidananda world. And sometimes he comes to this world by taking many incarnations. So Brahmaji, after explaining that how this whole material world is this universal form, everything is coming from Lord Vishnu, he wants to glorify the Lord when he takes various incarnations. So he gives the list of incarnations that the Lord takes in this world. And for each incarnation, he gives some uh, glorification of that incarnation. We briefly see. So he gives various incarnations. So this is like first canto, third chapter, where there also the various incarnations are there. So we'll briefly see. So Varahadev, we recently celebrated Varahadev. The main activity of Varahadev is he lifts the universe from Garbhodaka ocean. So, and he kills the Hiranyaksha demon. So that we know. Hiranyaksha he kills. And then Suyajna is incarnation who is born from the Akuti and Prajapati Ruchi. So he basically he saves Manu, and he produces Devatas. Kapiladev is in third canto, it will come Mother Devahuti's son. He gives knowledge about Sankhya, very elaborate philosophy. Dattatreya is born to Atri and Anasuya. He gives knowledge. He also famous for giving knowledge. And he also delivered some of the people, kings like Yadu and Haihayas, like that it is mentioned. And then four Kumaras, Chatush Kumaras, they are also Shaktyavesh Avatara. Shaktyavesh Avatara means something like a jiva, when he is empowered by the Supreme Lord, he is called a Shaktyavesh Avatara. So four Kumaras, they are empowered with the knowledge potency of the Supreme Lord. And then Naranarayana Rishis. So Naranarayana Rishis, they appear from the Murti and Dharma, and they are famous for performing tapasya, and they perform severe tapasyas, and always they desire benefit auspiciousness for the living entities. And Naranarayan Rishi, they like it is mentioned that they are like sometimes Cupid wanted to attack Naranarayan Rishi, but the Cupid could not make any effect on Naranarayan Rishi. And even Naranarayan Rishi, they did not become angry also with Cupid. So it says that some people, like maybe it's like Lord Shiva, when Cupid has approached, he overcome lust, but out of anger he destroyed Cupid. But Naranara and Rishi is compared that they were not overcome by Cupid, but at the same time they also did not become angry. So in this way, like he is like Shuddha Sattva nature of Vishnu is again mentioned, Naranara and Rishi, and like they are all above this material lust. And next, he also appeared as Krishnigarbha. Krishnigarbha means the particular incarnation of the Lord who is in Manvantara, and he also came and delivered Dhruva Maharaj. And one more incarnation is Prithu Maharaj. Prithu Maharaj is also Shaktya Veshavtar, where a soul is empowered by the Lord. he appeared to King Vena, and his activities are described in fourth canto, where he rules, he is the Adi Raja, he nicely rules this world and establishes so many moral codes. Vrishabhadeva, he is son of King Nabi. Nabi prays for the Supreme Lord as his son. So Vrishabhadeva has appeared. And he also performs severe Vairagya, and he also gives some nice instructions to his sons. His activities are mentioned in fifth canto. Hayagriva incarnation of the Lord is the when Brahmaji is performing in a sacrifice, that time Hayagriva incarnation has come. And a Hayagriva incarnation is like horse incarnation of the Lord, where Lord gives knowledge to Brahmaji. So all the knowledge that we see, and even the Mother Saraswati, who is famous for giving knowledge, this material knowledge, so that also original source is Hayagriva. So in this way, Lord comes in the form of Hayagriva, and from when he breathes Hayagriva, from him the Vedic sounds have come from his nostrils. So that is how Hayagriva is described as the knowledge prophecy. And then Matsyavatara, where he is prayed by Vaivasvata Manu. So that time the Vedas, in order to save Vedas and also the saves the earthly inhabitants, some of the rishis, he took the form of Matsya and protected Vedas and other sages in some of the inundation that will come. And then tortoise Kurma avatar, as we know, Samudra Manthan pastime happens. So that time the Samudra Manthan means they want to manthan, just like we churn curd to get butter. So Devatas want to churn the ocean to get Amrita. So that time that Mandara mountain is again and again going down. That past time it will come. So that time Lord took the form of Kurma and supported that Mandara mountain. And when that Mandara mountain is moving above his back, the Kurma Avtara, although it is so huge, Mandara mountain, but Kurma fish incarnation, he just felt that when someone is scratching on his back, like that. He felt a nice sensation on his top. So like that, he was partially sleeping. That way it is mentioned, Kurma Avatar. And then famous Lord Narasimha Avatar, when Hiranyakashipu is torturing Prahlad Maharaj, that time he has appeared and he beats Hiranyakashipu with his nails. And Hari is like one of the Manvantara incarnation, where he comes and saves Gajendra. So Gajendra is he went for a picnic with his family members, and suddenly he fallen into danger. So that time he remembered his previous life and offered his prayers to Supreme Lord Hari. So that time Lord Hari has come and delivered him. So while like Gajendra, when he is completely in fear, so that time he chanted that he, in that difficult situation when crocodile is punishing him, so he took a lotus flower and he offered the Lord that you are the enjoyer of all the sacrifice, or you are the Lord of the universe, and you are also Tirtha Shrava, you are the famous, like you are famous as the place of pilgrimage, and your holy name is Shravana Mangala. That means it creates a lot of auspiciousness. So Lord's holy name is always auspicious whenever one chants, whenever one hears. So I offer my respectful obeisances. Like that he chanted, and Lord is pleased with his prayer, and he quickly came on his Garuda bird, and he, with his chakra, he cut the mouth of crocodile and he delivered Gajendra. In this way, that pastime comes in again in eighth canto in more details. So whatever is being briefly described here, that is, they are all being elaborated in pastime forms in Bhagavatam in different episodes. So then, when all the Devatas, they are all, their kingdom was lost because Bali has occupied their kingdom. So Aditi performed some brata and pleased the Supreme Lord. At that time, Lord Hari has come in the form of Vaman Dev, and he went to Bali's court and he took that land from Bali by asking 3 steps. That is the incarnation of Vaman Dev. He appeared as Vaman Dev and he showed his universal by his exhibiting his strength. He occupied with 1 step the whole Bhumandal and second step as whole the universe. And third step he put on the Bali Maharaj head. So in this way he appeared as Vaman Dev. And then there is something called as Hamsavatar. So Hamsavatar is mentioned that so in order to explain knowledge to 4 Kumaras and also to Narada to give the knowledge of the devotional service, the Lord appeared as Hamsavatar. So there is an incarnation, Hamsa is also there. So these are like some of the incarnations that are mentioned. There is not much description in the Bhagavatam, briefly mentioned here. Hamsavatara, Hayagriva, these are not mentioned elaborately in Bhagavatam. That is Hamsavatara. And then in the Samudramantan Leela, when nectar comes, at that time, Devatas and Rakshasas, they were like fighting with each other. So in order to give that nectar to Devatas, the Lord has that nectar, the Lord has appeared as Mohini Avatar, and the nectar initially was given in the form by Dhanvantari. So this Dhanvantari is also like he releases living entities from diseases. So Ayurveda, in Ayurveda, he is said to be the Lord of Ayurveda. So he gives medicine to release the devotees from diseases, he cures diseases, and he also inaugurated that Ayurveda knowledge of. And then as Parashuram, when the rulers in this world, they are all very, very aggressive and they became corrupted, that time Lord incarnated as Parashuram and he chastised all those rulers. 21 times he moved all these kingdoms and chopped off the illegal kings. And as Lord Ram, so he appeared in order to in the dynasty of Ikshvaku and appeared as son of Maharaj Dasharat. And Ravana, when he was very offensive towards him, he chastised him. When by his power, the Samudra was not giving way to him. So, but when he glanced with Samudra with his red hot eyes, immediately the ocean got trembled. Immediately he came out and he gave his way, he gave his suggestions to the Lord. It is mentioned that Lord Ram, he was waiting for Samudra. He wanted to take permission from Samudra to build the bridge to go to Lanka. So 3 days he was meditating so that Lord Samudra will come so that he can ask for benediction and he will go. But after 3 days also Samudra was not appearing. So he became very, very angry and just looked very angrily into Samudra. So because of that anger, that whole ocean got trembling and he appeared. So it is mentioned in some of the acharyas, they mentioned that actually the Samudradev is thinking that actually Lord Ram is my master, so he should not request me in a prayerful way. He should order me, so that time I should appear. So like that, in thinking in this way, he waited, and when he became angry, that time he came and surrendered. Like that also some acharyas say. So when that Ravana he came, and he showed his prowess. The Lord as Lord Ram, he used his prowess and he killed him. In this way, Lord Ram is mentioned. And when this Krishna's pastimes are also mentioned, we will discuss that. And apart from that, after Krishna, before Krishna only, the one more incarnation is called as the Vyasadev, where this Lord is also like Shaktar, where he empowered. Sometimes he only becomes Vyasadev, sometimes he empowers a Jiva, where he divides the Vedas in Kali Yuga so that people are able to understand the principles of the Vedas. So, and he writes so many literature so that people can take Vyasadev. Because of Vyasadev only we are also able to read Srimad Bhagavatam. So and then Vyasadev, and also after Vyasadev, the Buddha is also mentioned in Bhagavatam. So we can see Bhagavatam is written around 5,000 years ago. So in Bhagavatam, when it is written in future tense. That means Buddha will appear. So it's like we know that Buddha has appeared. And, he preaches sub-religious principles according to time, place, and circumstances. That means when Buddha see like people in the age of Kali, they are using sacrifices to kill the animals. The purpose of sacrifice is to please the Lord and ultimately benefit everyone. But they are neglecting the main purpose and only using the yajnas to kill the animals and eat and enjoy. So seeing that so much ahimsa, so much himsa is happening, Buddha has appeared and to taught sub-religious principles. So there is no, in Buddha's teachings, there is no worship of the Lord. There is not mention of the Supreme Lord. In this way, it is like considered as Nastika Dharma, Buddha, because there is no worship of the Lord. Buddha is mentioned. And then Kalki, at the end of this current Kali Yuga. So Kali Yuga is like 4,27,000 we can say. And in that only 5,000 years have passed till now after Krishna left. So still there are like 4,00,000 years more. But it's mentioned that after Kali Yuga, it is like at the end of Kali Yuga, even during the Kali Yuga, slowly the dharma and everything will reduce. People become so low that they don't care for any dharma and they are completely a mess. Like they are like completely, in from the canto also there are many symptoms are given. So that time, in order to again establish dharma, again make it the society very peaceful. So Lord will come in the form of Kalki and he chastises the miscreants and again re-establishes dharma. So in this way, several incarnations of the Lord is mentioned. And like in 11th canto, there is like some more mention. There are what is called as Yugavataras. So Yugavatara means one particular incarnation will come in each yuga to establish the dharma in that yuga. So in Kali Yuga also the dharma in several places, the dharma for different ages are mentioned. Tretayam Yajato Makai. In Treta Yuga, people used to worship the Lord by performing sacrifices. By doing dhyana. Krute Dhyayato Vishnu. Tretayam Yajato Make. In Treta Yuga, they used to perform sacrifices. Vapare Paricharyayo. In Vapara Yuga, people used to worship the Lord by worshipping by deity worship, by Vigraha Aradhana. Kalotad Hari Kirtana. In Kali Yuga, the main duty is to glorify Lord Hari by Sankirtan. So, and then holy name, Nama, by chanting the names of the Lord is said to be the the Yuga Dharma. Kalo nasteva 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 gatiranyada. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam kalo nasteva 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 gatiranyada. Hare Nama is the only way in Kali Yuga. There is no other way, no other way, no other way like that in Puranas come. So in that sense, in 11th canto, in one chapter, the Lord also take incarnation in Kali Yuga, but he is like hidden incarnation. He is not well known. So that he inaugurates Sankirtan Yajna. So there is one shloka that will come in 11th canto. Krishna Varnam Visha Krishnam Sangopangastra Parshadam Yajnai Sankirtana Praye Yajanti Sumhedasaha. So he is Krishna Varna, but Visha Krishna. He is always glorifying Krishna, but he is not in color of Krishna, but he is color of golden color. And Yajnai Sankirtana Praye, his mood is that he Sankirtana, his mood of sacrifice is Sankirtana Yajna. And he appeared along with Parishadas, his associates, and Yajantihi Sumedasa, one who like intelligent, they worship him in Kali Yuga. So that is the incarnation of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that is also mentioned in Bhagavatam, like how he Yajna Sankirtana Praya Yajantihi Sumedasa. The intelligent people understand him, but he is not well known because he is also Chanma Avatar, he is hidden incarnation. His main rule is to inaugurate the Sankirtan movement. So that's how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also indirectly mentioned in Bhagavatam. And he starts this Sankirtan movement. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who has appeared 500 years ago in Mayapur, Navadvip. So various incarnations of the Lord, Brahmaji has mentioned. While mentioning these incarnations, he also, for Krishna, while remembering Krishna, he remembers more pastimes because Krishna is the Purna Purushottam Bhagavan. He exhibits all the different types of rasas and different types of. Therefore, he remembers more of his pastimes. So he remembered the pastime of how he has appeared in Devaki's home in jail, and then went to this went to Vrindavan. There he performed so many beautiful pastimes in Vrindavan. Even when in his childhood, he killed a great demon called Putana, and then he also uprooted Yamalajuna trees produced. So this is like beautiful Damodar Leela he is remembering. And also he went through Trunavata very high, and also he although he was infant, he is doing all these impossible acts. So therefore he is the Supreme Lord, he says. And he sometimes Kaliya, he has polluted the river water. So that time he danced on the hoods of Kaliya and he cleaned that river. So he is the first environmentalist also. And then there is some fire that has attacked that night, and he saved Kaliya. So he saved all the inhabitants by drinking that fire, and so in this way he saved all of them. And he also remembered Damodar Leela. Yashoda wanted to tie this Krishna, but he was not to be tied. He don't want to get tied up. It is very, very beautiful Leela. And so he finally, by his mercy, he was able to tie. And also Yashoda wanted to see the Lord's mouth. So that time, Lord in his mouth showed the entire universe. And that time, seeing that entire universe in Krishna's mouth, Yashoda got bewildered. Who is this, my son? Who is having this mystic? Like that Yogamaya, he empowered the Lord. In that pastime also, he is remembering. And he also released Nanda Maharaj from Varuna, like when Varunadev's servants have arrested Nanda Maharaj, Krishna went below this ocean and went there and he saved Varunadev. And also he, at that time, he showed to all the inhabitants of Vraja the spiritual world. So when they are discussing, is Krishna is the Supreme Lord, like that they are all discussing. So that time he showed that he is the Supreme Lord and showed them Vrindavan. So in this way, Brahmaji is remembering again the pastime of Govardhan, how he lived 7 days when Indra showered the rain and he protected the whole Vrindavan. So, and he also remembered the pastime of Rasa Leela, how he is dancing with gopis in the night. And at that time, a demon called Shankachoda has come. At that time, he also killed that Shankachoda and took money from that. And also, after coming out from Vrindavan, he killed so many other Rakshasas outside Vrindavan also, like in Dwaraka and in Mathura is there. So many Rakshasas have come and he killed them. Like Pralamba, Denuka, they're all in Vrindavan. Outside Dwaraka, Narakasura, outside Vrindavan, Narakasura, Kalayavan, Kamsa. So many demons have come, which are coming in 10th canto. He remembered all of them. So some of them he killed directly, some of them he used his servants like Arjuna and Bhima to kill them. And so in this way, he remembered the activities of Krishna. So after remembering all these different incarnations of Lord, he says that actually I don't know the glories of the Supreme Lord. Even the Ananta Sesha with his thousand more, he is trying to glorify the Lord, but still he could not reach the end of his glories. So how can I glorify the Supreme Lord? So, but therefore it is better for all of us to surrender to him, and it is by meditating upon him, by nirvyalika, by our completely our heart without any pretension. So that time one will be able to cross this Deva Maya, which is very difficult to cross. Otherwise, people will be in this material world only. So we have to surrender to the Supreme Lord by performing bhakti, then attract his mercy. Then by that mercy we understand him, and then we will be able to cross over this ocean. And he gives several examples. We have done this, like Prahlad Maharaj, great devotees like Prahlada, Ikshvaku, Aila, Muchukunda, Janaka, Gadi, Raghu, Ambarisha. So great list of devotees. They all understand the Lord by attaining his mercy. So they are all, if even if one doesn't know about the Lord, but if someone just, or even if one says that someone doesn't know anything, or someone is born in lower families, they also, or someone has performed a lot of sin in their previous life, but still if they are trained by the Supreme Lord's devotee, Yadi Adbhuta Krama Parayana Sila Sikshas, then they also, just by hearing and by training in that association, they also will cross over this Maya. So if someone is inclined to learn devotional service from devotees, they will also, whatever may be their background, they will also get delivered. So that is the power of devotional service, by attaining devotional service. So Lord has different aspects, Bhagavan, Paramatma and Brahman. So Jnanis, they want to realize Brahman. Yogis, they may want to realize Paramatma. And Bhaktas want to realize Bhagavan and want to reciprocate with him. But the aspect of Bhagavan is full realization, where it is having all the reciprocative aspects and the variety is there. So therefore, Bhagavan aspect is all inclusive than super soul and Brahman aspect. So Bhagavan is greater than super soul and Brahman. So therefore, one needs to perform bhakti to attain that Supreme Lord. So that he again clarifies, Brahmaji, that one needs to perform bhakti to attain Bhagavan. So in this way, I have described you this knowledge of how Supreme Lord is the cause of this entire universe and how he created everything and how he has appeared in different incarnations and he performed so many leelas in this world. In this way, these Lord's activities should be described, appreciated, and heard in accordance with the teachings of the Lord. And if one regularly hears this relationship of this world with the Supreme Lord and the relationship of this Maya with the connection with the Supreme Lord, and how this universe, everything is operating in this world. When we regularly hear all these things in connection with the Lord, so then that person will be come out of Maya. Maya Atma na Mukhyati. That person will not be bewildered by Maya. So like that he gives. And this Bhagavatam knowledge, I have explained this knowledge to you in very brief. So you explain this knowledge to all others. So expand this science of Bhagavatam to all others. So like that, Brahmaji is also asking Narada Muni to explain this knowledge of Bhagavatam so that bhakti will arise in others. So that's how Narada Muni is always going everywhere and giving bhakti to so many different personalities. So, to get out of Maya, one needs to discuss how everything is in connection with the Supreme Lord. Maya Varneto Amushya Ishwarasya Anumodata Shrimvata Shraddhaya Nityam Mayatma Namushyati. And we regularly hear this Bhagavatam, which explains the connection of everything in relation to the Supreme Lord. He will not get bewildered by Supreme Lord. So therefore one should again and again hear how Lord is there behind every cause of this universe. So that is the reason in starting of Bhagavatam, we should have directly going into Lord's pastimes. It is explaining how everything in this world, universe is connected with the Supreme Lord. So that is the advantage of hearing the knowledge of this creation. And so this is how the chapter is there. I stop here. If anyone wants to ask anything or add anything. So, hope,
does anybody have any questions?
No.
Hare Krishna. So thank you everyone for joining. Thank you for regularly hearing Bhagavatam. Slowly, these concepts will clear more and more, and the ultimate auspiciousness will come. So thank you everyone. So we'll continue our discussion in the next week. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Randara Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada.
Jai.